No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Alright, what's up, you guys? It's the Travel Southern Belle, of course. On a little trip, driving back from Atlanta to Nashville. And I got some news to share with y'all, okay? So I don't know if you've seen my previous video about me having to share some shit with y'all, but I'm moving back to Atlanta, okay? Not that Nashville didn't work out for me. Like, I really did like Nashville, and what it had to offer, even through like the growing pains, but it was my job that didn't work out for me, okay? And that was pushing through the adjustment phase and, you know, getting to know the staff and stuff like that. Like, the company that I moved to Nashville for, I had worked for prior to moving to Nashville, okay? So I'm just gonna say that I didn't move for a new job. I moved because my job transferred me out here, and this was what broke me, okay? It was very challenging. Like, the store that I work in restaurant management or whatever, and the store that I worked in was like one of our number 3 top grossing sales in the company that I work for, and I don't want to put their name out there or whatever, and it's nothing, well, I'm not gonna say it's nothing against them, but it's just like my preferences for the long term and where I see myself in the future. Like, it just didn't align for what I saw myself doing for the long term and what I wanted to invest my time into. I had worked for this company almost 3 years. I had gotten hired like January 9th of 2017, okay? I left and then I came back, and in coming back, they transferred me to our Brentwood location in Tennessee, which is a very upscale neighborhood suburb of Nashville. It's like south, if I can get my directions together, my compass in my mind together, I think it's southwest Nashville or whatever, or southwestern of Nashville. So yeah, so a couple things that I really had issues with was, number one was pay. Again, the store was the number 3 grossing in the company overall, and the cost of living was a little more expensive comparable to my hometown of Atlanta. And like, Atlanta has some very expensive neighborhoods, but in comparison to where I live outside of the city, in a eastern suburb of Atlanta, and where I commuted was like a 45-minute commute, which was not a problem because I was familiar with the area and everything like that. But moving directly from that area to Nashville or whatever was an adjustment. There is no state income tax in Nashville or Tennessee, period. So I feel like that makes up for what you pay in utilities. And overall, doing the math or whatever, I was coming out an extra $500 to basically have somewhere to stay and utilities or whatever. And if I didn't have a car note and car insurance or whatever, which is an extra $600 altogether, then I probably wouldn't have minded. But the fact that I uprooted and I moved somewhere for my job or whatever, a career, and they were not willing to increase the pay on top of the number 2 issue that I had was the stress that I was enduring, then it would have been okay. But the fact that I was enduring a lot more stress, I was doing a lot more work, more than what I was actually making, my utilities and like the cost of living being a little bit more than what it should have been, that was like an issue for me. I've had the necessary, and I try to give it as much time as possible, and I'm getting to that point because I did not just like plan on just upping and leaving. I wanted to at least complete a year. So yeah, and like it's kind of hard to like explain everything without putting it all out there. One, it wasn't me. Okay, let's just put that out there. Okay, even after leaving, I've been gone for a week now. I still have my employees that are still keeping in touch and messaging me and saying, hey, you know, like, we really miss you, we wish you never left or whatever. However, it was not my immediate staff that was the reason that I left. Okay, there were some like days where I was like, I just cannot do this. Like, it's not worth it. Like, I shouldn't have to walk into work every day and it be something that was always going wrong. Like, yes, you ask for a job with challenges and you want to overcome those challenges, but at a certain point you have your breaking point where it's always something. Like, it never ceased to fail. Like, as my GM would say, when it rains it pours. True enough, when it rains it pours, but there were times where I was walking into a complete shit show. It was I just felt flooded with a lot of things that I just could not just bear on my own. Okay, I'm only one person on a staff of others. Okay, I just felt like there were some consistency issues. Like, I am very straightforward, very direct, and there were things that needed to be done, and I wanted to make those changes, but I didn't necessarily always have the backing or whatever. Like, I didn't have other people to hold others accountable when it was just myself, and that can be very frustrating if you're in some type of leadership position or in management where you're the person holding everyone accountable, and when you're not around, nobody else is holding those people accountable, or there isn't any flow of consistency or expectations put in place. And I'm that person where, like, I'm very direct, and once my boss sets expectations, I'm setting expectations for everybody else, and it just becomes frustrating when you're the only person finding yourself to repeat everything over and over, and you get so much pushback from your employees. You're the only person that asks for us to do this, you're the only person who does this, you're the only person. It's like, okay, well, I'm the only person asking y'all to do what's outlined in your policy manual. Okay, that was one frustration, is when you get a job and you go through your orientation or whatever, they give you a policy manual. Okay, certain companies are process driven, certain companies are, you know, here for the employees and they're about the culture or whatever, and then certain workplaces it's just like a free-fall. Okay, the company that I worked for was not a free-fall. It was processes and creating a culture and being consistent. Okay, you cannot have a productive store or restaurant if there isn't any consistency, there isn't any accountability, and there aren't any, you know, resources. And that's the issue that I was having or whatever. It's like, and besides the work, the amount of work and the amount of hours that I'm putting in as a salary manager or whatever, the pay just was not there as a motivator. Two, I just found myself being burned out in the short amount of time being there, because I'm the only one. I'm not gonna say I'm the only one, but I'm the only person that I know for a fact is like trying to put in place, that consistency, and that holding others accountable for the job description that they are, for the role that they're in, and that's just what it is, or whatever. I also found that in the 10 years that I've been in the hospitality and restaurant industry, that the longer that I've gotten in there, the more complacent or comfortable, or the more that we feel that we need to hold employees' hands to do their job. And how I look at it is, we don't beg them to apply for these jobs. We don't beg them to stay in their role. What we ask is, if you are hired, is that you can fulfill those needs of the job description and follow the company's policies and procedures. And we like in the time that you're shorthand or whatever, it's like you just hire to fill, the gaps or whatever, and it's like you're just hiring bodies, but we're hiring people that don't want to be managed. And I don't understand why people go and apply for jobs and don't want to be managed or whatever. And if that's the case, you need to be a 1099 contractor employee and work for yourself, where you don't have to follow rules or anything like that, and make your own rules. God damn it. But yeah, so I found myself in like that frustration and not being happy with what I was doing anymore, to the point where it was like becoming miserable to be, in Nashville. Like, I absolutely enjoyed it. I made a lot of friends and stuff like that, or acquaintances, because I didn't really get to know them long enough for them to just become long-term friends. I value friendships like gold or whatever. But I felt like it just no longer became worth it. And then another reason was like the amount of time that I'm putting into a company. I feel like I wasn't getting that back or whatever. Most companies, they will give you or offer a 401k in your benefits package with a company match. And the company that I work for does not have a 401k, and they've been around for 20 something years, almost 30 years. They are growing, okay? And that's another issue that I had, is like, how are we putting money into growth, but we're not investing in our managers who have invested time in the company? We have some people who have been with our company since the day it opened, 20 something years ago. Our VPs have started out as hourly team members, and they put in their time, and now they're where they at. But how are they? Well, I'm going through this mountain and my ears are popping. But how are they putting in this amount of time investing in a company that is not paying, a company match for 401k, and they're not even offering 401k? Okay. We have the money to grow and open new stores, where we have this goal of being, 60 strong or whatever, where right now we have 40 something stores in the company. But we have the money to open new stores, but we don't have the money to, up salaries for people who have moved. We haven't even thought about a 401k plan for at least those tenure employees who have been with the company and put their time in and invested. So, I just felt like the focus was somewhere else. And it just was not aligning to what I needed. So I had started researching and, reevaluating what it is that I wanted to do. Now we already know that I have this whole, I'm a free spirit, and I have this desire to, travel a lot, or whatever. And I found what my niche, okay? So let's start there. And I'm not ready to divulge in that. However, I have found a niche where I can travel and get paid for that, and I'm currently studying for the necessary testing and permits that I need to go ahead and get that ball rolling. Okay, so the travel in Southern Belle does not stop. Okay, so let's just put that out there or whatever. But the travel in Southern Belle would no longer be living in Nashville. Okay, I absolutely love the city to where I can come back. I know that for a fact that I can come back and party my ass off. Okay, the city has so much to offer. However, Atlanta is where I call home, and when I'm in this transitional phase, I would prefer to be at home. Okay, where I have the necessary support systems in place, so that I can, I can do what I need to do. I can remain focused or whatever. So yes. So, what calls for the immediate move? Okay, the immediate, I walked out or whatever. What calls for that? Because I was planning to put in a notice or whatever. And I was giving it some time. I was like, okay, well, I have a couple more months left in my I have 6 more months almost, or a little bit more, maybe 7 months more left in my lease. And what's crazy is I had decided to downsize my apartment before I was leaving. I had decided to downsize my apartment so that I can save more money, because again, I am not making what I need to make to live comfortably in Nashville, still have work-life balance or anything like that. Like, I don't have that. There were times where I was leaving from work, and I would have to get to work at like 5:30 in the morning. And as soon as I leave from work, doing almost a 12-hour shift, I find myself, needing to drive for Lyft to make the extra cash or whatever, so that I wouldn't be so stressed out in covering, that extra expense of living in Nashville. So, my frustration and a week and a half of, looking up other alternatives, and then just going ahead and saying, okay, once this is up, I'm gonna go ahead and make this next move and transition into this new career, and I have all of my money saved and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, I have money saved. Two, I found myself on a Friday night shift, without giving too much information, because I had to write a statement and all this extra shit or whatever. And honestly, you know what? Whatever happens because I have the resources, and it's nothing to do what I need to do whenever those legal actions or whatever comes about from the opposing party or whatever. But I had a male employee, whether he was playing or not, because the situation got escalated or whatever, and I'm just gonna be 100. Like, I'm from College Park. Like, I do not play. I don't play around. I don't fuck around. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that I don't fuck around. Okay, I had a male employee or whatever hit me on top of the head with the fucking a server book or electronic server book or whatever the fuck it was, but I have locked jewelry in my hair, so the shit hurt regardless. Okay. Two, you're a male, so you definitely keep your motherfucking hands to yourself or whatever. But out of my reflexes and out of not knowing how to fucking handle the situation, I hit the motherfucker back. Okay. And excuse my language. But I hit him back. Okay, I cold cocked him or whatever, and let my employees tell it I might have knocked the wind out of him. But at the end of the day, I know that he learned never to put his hands on another female. Okay, let's just go ahead and put that out there. I was the only female manager. I was the only black female manager. In the company at the store that I was managing at or whatever. I was a higher level manager, I was senior level manager or whatever. However, I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. Maybe 5'8" in my work shoes or whatever, because they're kitchen clogs, non-slip or whatever, so they give me a little more extra inch. But this employee has to be at least 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" on a good day. Maybe in his work shoes he was 6'5". But if you're standing over your female or whatever, you're gonna feel threatened. Okay. And I felt like it was out of the blue, because I had already turned my back and I hadn't really had any negative interaction with him. Maybe he was playing or whatever. But one thing I know and how I grew up, don't walk up behind nobody, don't surprise attack, don't walk up hitting them. It's a no-go, okay? So yeah. So getting hit on top of my head, and I'm coming down the mountain. I'm driving down the mountain, okay? Hitting on top of my head, and I have lockjaw, so the shit hurts or whatever. I don't know if y'all can see the shit, but you know what I'm saying? A quick boot too hard, the shit hurts. Okay, I don't care how you meant to do it or whatever, but you shouldn't have did it. Okay, so that happens, and then turn around, he leaves out of the kitchen, because I do work in the kitchen of the restaurant. Comes back, and words are exchanged, and he calls me a bitch. Okay, not only do you put your hands on me, but you get mad that I retaliated or reacted, and then you call me a bitch and say that I hit you too hard. One, you shouldn't put your hands on me, and this wouldn't happen. Two, don't touch my crown. Okay, I'm not sure if y'all remember, but my whole freeform locking journey is a spiritual thing. So you already already introduced some energy to my crown that I was not ready for. Okay, that's major. So yeah, so that escalates even more because you get in my face and call me a bitch. All right. I'm not sure how you guys were raised, but that's automatic disrespect. Okay. You're already taller than me and you're hovering over me. Okay, so I already feel threatened. So I don't know what else you're ready to do, but I'm ready to rumble in the jungle. Okay. Because I ain't never been scared. Now, if it came down to it, okay, my parents, my mom, my stepdad, you know, they were ready to ride with the bail money, because at the end of the day it would have been self-defense, because you were the aggressor. So yeah, so after that whole little altercation happens, I get another manager involved who is a male. He's also one manager above me, so he's like right above me in the chain of command. I get him involved, and there is no resolve. Okay, let's just put that out there. There's no fucking resolve, and I'm already heated. And not only that, he turns from calling me a bitch, and when I start popping off, it's like, you know, now I'm ghetto and I'm the aggressor. Okay, so one thing I already don't like is the fact that you have already flipped the switch after you instigated some bullshit. You turn into the victim. Don't throw a rock and hide your hand, and then make me into the angry black woman who was the aggressor. Okay, that's what I don't like. And then after no resolve from a co-manager, or, you know, my number 2 manager, because I'm the number 3, I hand in my keys and I tell him, have the GM and have the director call me, because I'm out. Okay, one thing I'm not gonna do, I already don't like this place. I'm not happy. I'm already fucking miserable, and I'm not gonna stay somewhere where I feel like my staff does not have my back, and then I feel threatened already in my job. So now this has become a hostile work environment. Okay, so yes, I did not like that, and maybe, you know, it could have went a different way. However, the way it went is the way the fucking universe worked, and that's how it went, and we gonna roll with that. All right, so I walked out or whatever, called my GM, and no answer. Okay, let's put that out there. I did call my GM, there was no answer. Okay, 2, I called my parents and I was like, hey, I'm coming home. I'm bringing my ass home, because 1, this is not for me. This is not how I do things. I have never had to be in an altercation in the workplace that has caused me to walk out. I don't walk out. What I will do is put in a notice, okay? Because I do shit the right way. I've never, knock on wood, whenever I find it, I've never been fired or terminated from a job or whatever. I've always left on good terms to where I can come back if need be, okay? So yes, that's that. Y'all, my blood pressure was so damn high that day, that night, because it was a Friday night. I contacted one of my leasing agents and let her know, like, hey, you know what, this just happened. I'm gonna have to go ahead and bust a move and move back to Atlanta. So yeah. Whew. So then I finally make it back to Atlanta that same night. Like, I drove back. I did not play. I packed some bags and I went home. Okay. Next morning I get a phone call from my director or whatever, and he's like, hey, I understand you're upset or whatever. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, maybe I can give you some time to, you know, think about it, but are you okay? Or do you plan on coming back or whatever? Now, and I told him every part of my frustration, to the point where how I got another, because he asked me, did you get another manager involved? Yes, I did. And he was too busy cutting a motherfucking slice of cake from a guest or whatever, and he was not quick to do what the fuck he needed to do. And what made me even more madder was that I had that same employee who initiated the situation say that I was the aggressor. Don't hit if you don't want to get hit back. Okay, I don't know who raised him, but y'all might want to take a look at how y'all did that. I still didn't hear from my GM. He did not call me. Okay. He would call me for any and everything else. We would chit chat, but this situation, he did not call me. Okay. I got a text message like maybe a couple hours later from him or whatever, saying whoop-de-whoop, asking for a statement. Sure, motherfucker, I'm gonna take my motherfucking time, because you still have not called me and asked me was I okay or anything like that. It was all nothing but text message. Okay, so that shows me what the fuck your head was at. 3, from that next day or whatever, when I did talk to my director, he called me again the next day, and then he called me again. And I had already told him, I was like, listen, I will come back and gladly work out the schedule that I am already scheduled, but I am submitting a resignation. Okay, and I went down every point from point A to Z on why it is that they deserved my resignation. Okay, and that incident being the cherry on top of why it was time for me to just go ahead and part ways. So yeah, so I get a final call because I was going to return back to work on Tuesday morning, and I had already, you know, text my GM like, hey, I gave such and such my keys. The DO is asking for me to return, so is there any way you can leave those keys so I can just go ahead and, you know, come back to work? Mind you, I was not pressed on returning, so if I needed to have an immediate resignation that same Friday was gonna be my last day, I was so serious. I didn't give a damn. Okay, because I'm never gonna miss out on money, because my work ethic is that strong to where I'll go find another job, and it may not be something I like, but my bills are gonna get paid. My business is gonna get handled, and that's just what it is, or whatever. So with that being said, they did accept my immediate resignation, or whatever, which was okay, because I am not hurt, harmed, or endangered. 2, ever since then, I have been living my best damn life in Atlanta, or whatever, and it's like I've been enjoying everything, but I also have been hustling, so I've been making my money, or whatever, so I am comfortable. Okay, my goal for my next journey is to be gone by July at the latest. Okay, I've already gotten everything that I needed as far as Wusa. So right now I am just really on the road. I'm almost in, you know, Nashville or whatever, to go pack up my stuff, call a mover, and put my shit in storage. Okay, I am not moving into another place. I am putting my stuff in storage, and I'm just going tunnel vision to what it is the next step is causing me to do. Okay, so I'm not ready to give that information out until I say, hey, here's my papers, this is what I got going on, deuces. And I'm not saying deuces to y'all, because listen, y'all are gonna be the major point of this next journey. Y'all are gonna be my sanity, because I will be able to vlog a little bit more and not be so stressed out. But listen, y'all, like, I would get off at 5, like I would go to work at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't get home till sometimes, like majority 6:30, 7 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock in the evening or whatever. And as soon as I get home, either I need to go ahead, shower, cook something to eat, and then go to sleep, or I would just need to shower and then go to sleep because I'm exhausted. I don't feel like eating. I don't have time to cook. I don't have the energy to cook. I just need to get in the bed. So working that much and not being able to like get home and relax, but just get home, shower, and get in the bed, like that's enough to drive somebody crazy. Like, I'm not just paying these extra expensive ass bills just to get home and not be able to enjoy it. Okay, that's just not me. I absolutely cannot. Okay. So yeah, that's just where I am right now, and like I am so grateful. Sometimes the universe lines up the way it needs to, especially during this retrograde or whatever. And then it's supposed to be a full moon, it looks like, tonight, which I'm very excited about, so I can go ahead and meditate and harvest all of that I need to harvest. But the universe works in mysterious ways. Like, I set out on, like, focused on something and saying, okay, this is what my next move is going to be. I need to go ahead and study, prepare myself, take these exams so I can get the certification or whatever, or the license with the, you know what I'm saying, the Department of Transportation and everything. Like, that's just what it's going to be. Okay. So yeah, and I even stopped smoking. Okay, I had stopped smoking before the incident happened. So imagine, you know, being frustrated and you can't even smoke. Like y'all, the stress factor was on 1,000 that day. Okay, I think I said every cuss word in the book because I was so fucking mad. I even had to, it was getting dark, I even had to, you know, let my parents know, like, yo, like, I don't even think I can even fake the funk or whatever. So last time I checked or whatever from my insider resources, the guy is no longer employed. Okay, people are pretty much aware that I left. Okay, regardless, like, I wasn't coming back. People who saw me walk out, and I started getting text messages and phone calls, who was like, hey, come back, you know, why are you leaving? They pretty much understood after breaking everything down, that was my breaking point, on top of other reasons that I had listed out. So they know that I just didn't walk out because of one frustrating night. It built up over time, and that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And everybody has a breaking point on what they will tolerate. That was just one thing that I wasn't willing to tolerate. I don't tolerate disrespect. Okay, when everybody knows I am that manager that's very consistent in what I'm asking you guys to do, and it's nothing that I'm not willing to do myself, because that's where I gain the respect, is that when I'm asking people to do stuff, I'm right there in the trenches doing it along with them. Okay, because at the end of the day, it has to get done. Somebody has to do it, and I was trained to do it, so I'm going to get it done and make sure that everybody else follows suit. I really hate that it had to be done in the way it was done. I am gonna miss a lot of my employees or whatever. A lot of people, a lot of acquaintances that I made, a lot of connections that I made, a lot of relationships that I built. But the show must go on. There's going to be somebody else that's going to come in there and they're going to forget about me. And it's okay. That's just how the world works. And I'm not upset. I'm just upset that I had to leave like that, because that's not me. That's just not how I rock or whatever. But it's getting dark, so I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog or whatever, but I just had to let you guys know I motherfucking quit. I quit. Okay, so yeah. Whew. Make sure y'all keep up or whatever. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you can get notifications about, you know, every time that I post a video or whatever. But y'all keep y'all heads up, okay? If you're going through something at work, keep your head up. And if it ain't working out for you, you know, make sure you leave on the right terms. Make sure you know what I'm saying, you research what it is that next step. And sometimes you're just going through growing pains at that place where you're at, okay? Sometimes it ain't always gonna be peachy keen, or they're doing a bonfire. So yeah, it ain't gonna always be peachy keen. But do what's gonna protect your peace and your happiness. And that, like me leaving regardless, was gonna protect my peace and my happiness and my sanity. So yeah. It was time. So again, holla at you, okay? Holla at me. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, and like my page on Facebook, The Traveling Southern Belle, or whatever. Don't be a stranger. So yeah.